I'd like to draw your attention to this. This, I think, is going to help me develop the double flush to the next level. It's a rose cutting. It's only about that high, but in 3 weeks it's grown this much. It's basically growing 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches a week, sort of thing. So, and putting out leaves, just absolutely amazing. And all it is you water the pot there, and it goes through, floods this thing down here. But this bit here does actually have holes in it, as you can probably see, and it's dripping, so it's got enough water. And then it's got this sort of, now that's plastic, and sorry, it's plastic, but it seems like it makes a seal. So it's a bit like one of these siphon bucket things, where you fill it up, and once you get to a certain level of water, it drains. And like these ones over here, these buckets, these are siphon buckets. So you fill them up. When you get to about 30 counts, it opens a valve, a siphon, and just lets all the water that's in the bottom out, and all the water at the top that's coming down forms the new water in the top, sort of thing. You've got a few litres coming on there now, finally. But, yeah. Anyway, so you put that in there, and of course the water then sort of forces any water that was in there out, but it's sort of sealed there, so it keeps this bottom bit semi-saturated, I suppose, in a way. So, yeah. So I think that's the interesting part down there. It's this sort of seal that it has on there. Enough to keep the water in there, in the bottom bit, but not enough that when you put the water through there, the weight of the water will push the water through the soil and out the bottom, sort of thing. So, yeah, I think that's the bits we're probably going to have to work on. So you might have a bucket with a slit on the bottom, right across the bottom of the bucket, sort of thing, but fitted to some sort of, probably this sort of material. Might be able to find one of these things, but a much larger size, big enough to fit a bucket, sort of thing, and go from there. The soil, it just seems like this ordinary stuff, so it might be able to just use ordinary, this sort of rose fruit sort of potting soil. In the past we've been using the red bag tomato stuff, and that seems to work really, really, really well, so we might do some experiments with that and see if we can grow a simple thing like a cape or something, but using this technique. So it might be a step up from doing the double flush, sort of thing. Maybe just a single flush now per day, sort of thing, enough to keep it permanently wet, sort of thing. It seems to be one of the things that you like with ferns and all the fern allies and sea peas in general. You mustn't let the soil dry out. Can you work out why that is? So you want to keep it permanently damp, but not saturated on this bit. So it's probably just that bit that has to be saturated. So makes you wonder if there's anything in there that's going up through there. So do the microbes grow in there and go up through there, or is it something other than microbes that accumulate in there and go up through the pot there, which makes this thing grow so fast? So yeah, especially when they're supposed to be nutrient-poor plants. If you go back to your basics of CPs, some of the plant families I think do fit into the order of roses. I think, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong there. But if you go back there, I think the Venus flytrap is in the distant rose order, I think. So of rosals, I think it is. So if I remember correctly, I could be making it. It's many years ago I did the basics, so yeah, could have it all screwed up and wrong. But I just thought I'd draw this to your attention. I'm going to make an attempt to replicate this on a larger scale and try grow something simple like a caping or something and see what response we get from it. And maybe try just using certain garden soils rather than peat. Maybe start with coir, because we know coir works, and then maybe move over to the red bag tomato soil, because the white stock sour guys are always saying, if you can grow a tomato, you can grow CPs. Maybe they're suggesting that you should actually just use tomato soil. to grow your carnivorous plants, but maybe you need a special setup to get it to work so it never dries out and you can wash it through, sort of thing. But I think the key point's going to be this little bit area here, getting like a seal to it, sort of thing. So every time you put water through there, that remains permanently saturated in a way, but still able to drain. If there's any more water, it would drain, sort of thing. So every time you put water in the top, it forces it to drain. Then it's a bit like a siphon in a way. In one of these siphon pots is what I'm saying, not actually a siphon, but one of these siphon pots where, you know, the siphon, once you put a certain amount of water in there, it triggers the siphon, and well, maybe I'll make another clip and show you how this one works. You won't believe it. It makes an absolute funny noise. So I might do another clip, okay?